Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we are back with the latest update of the TBM-850 from BlackSquare. And you guys, it is quite the update, both with new features, numerous fixes, and numerous adjustments to the aircraft performance and feature list, so stick around. If you are interested in acquiring any of my overkills tutorial guides from Microsoft Flight Simulator, or simply interested in supporting the channel, please consider joining us on Patreon. Patreon subscribers level tier 2 and above have access to all of my guides, as well as any future releases that come down the road. Patreon link can be found in the description below.
Overkill simulations, watch us as we fly. Overkill simulations, the thrill will never die in the heart.
Alright folks, so first getting right into it, you guys, here is the full changelog for the TBM-850 found on the Just Flight website. As you guys can see, it is quite extensive. First off, we have the new tablet, which we've been going over, just like they had in the Duke, so we're going to be checking that out as well. You have a bunch of bug fixes, and again, you have some the new feature list. So I didn't want to get into these. This is the old one. So you got version 1.1. This is now version 1.2. So make sure you guys don't get the two confused. But there is a bunch of stuff that has changed with this aircraft. So we're going to go ahead and get it flying. We're going to take it from over here in San Juan and jump over to Princess Juliana in the Caribbean. Figure that'd be a fun little flight for the TBM. Haven't done anything like that with it in quite a while. So let's check it out. A link to the full changelog will be down in the description if you guys are interested, as well as a link to the purchase site. Alright, give you guys the warning right now. This is happening a lot today with just Microsoft. It is not my internet connection. It's typical MSBS. Like that. Anyway, so be ready. Like you guys saw it disconnected right after it said connected. So be ready for that. So here is the new tablet. First off, you can change all of your avionics, configure them around. No more of the switches that used to be over here on the side panel. Now you just select what you want, hit confirm, whether you're using the PMS or the TDS GTN. You can select that. Again, hit confirm. Here is your different options for the aircraft itself. When it comes to the unrestricted beta range, this is really, really cool. You guys make sure that you guys check that out. And actually, we're going to turn that on. For us for today, just to sort of do this like that, and then you have the instant beta on touchdown. I'm not doing that. If you guys are interested in what beta range is, look it up. Turboprop beta range on Google. It's quite a discussion all in itself, and I'm not sure that I'm the right man to describe it to you, just because I'm sort of still wrapping my head around it. But anyway. Load with covers and chocks deployed, so that's every single time that you load cold and dark, it'll be there, which is what we're going to do. VR tablet static position, you guys can click that, and every time you launch the tablet, it will automatically go into the VR position. So that is nice because you can drag it around. So anytime you click in any of the bezels, you can move it around as you wish, which I really do like. Now, let's see here. Let's keep on moving here. Payload, obviously, just like any other aircraft, you get your gross pounds or kilograms. Let's go ahead and close our doors since we're talking about it. Refill the oxygen as necessary. Shift your weight as necessary. Gives you the center of gravity currently. And you can adjust that as necessary based on adjusting the pay range. And all of your external covers are also here as well. So, engine. You can see all of your engine performance. Clear any engine failures. Repair any engine condition depending on what's going on. And then clean your filters if necessary too. This is pretty cool. So we're going to take another look at all of this once we land at Princess Juliana and just see if anything has changed. Maybe intentionally drive it a little hard. I'm sort of going to not do a very accurate startup today because I want to see what happens when we just sort of wing it and throw it together. I'm still going to be pretty close, but I want to see if we can trip anything or cause anything that makes us go, huh, that's interesting, right? And then obviously your failure screen in general. Fun times real failure rate. You can reset, restore default, or you can trigger failures individually or immediately as well. I mean, it goes through just about everything. You also have weather radar gain now. The weather radar gain actually works. Keep in mind that I don't believe the failure menu is going to appear on the weather radar anymore. So quite a few different things, right? The only thing that I will admit that I was sort of shocked, and I'm double checking through here again to make sure I didn't miss it, was, in fact, the checklist. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for it to be anywhere else. So I was kind of shocked by that. And I hope the developer considers adding it, because especially with the ability to move it around, that seems like a perfect time to throw the checklist in it. Like, why would you not want to do that? So anyway, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I was just like, genuinely, I was surprised that it wasn't there. It's not that I'm trying to gripe. I'm really not. I was just surprised to not see the checklist here. Anyway, so let's get after it. So like I said, we're just going to sort of wing it and do what we do. I do need to check the fuel though. Payload. There we go, fuel. That should be more than enough to get us to Princess Juliana. We're not going that far. Okay. So, let the games begin. Remember I said I'm sort of going to wing it, see if we can trigger, trip, or otherwise. It's still going to be pretty close. I'm going to tell you right now. All right, so let's go. There we go. And we're going to turn the power source on to generator. Let's turn our nav and pulse lights on. Not pulse lights, strobe lights. Let's make sure oxygen is turned on at engine start. Yes, that is legit. Ignition, we're going to set that to auto. Fuel selection should be set to auto for engine start. Auxiliary boost pumps go to the on position. Verify annunciator works. Verify all alarms are working on the annunciator. In case anything goes south, we want to make sure we're going to be alerted. Pressurization system is off. All other masters are off. Parking brake is set. Inertial separator will turn on after the engine is started. Let's do a quick test on the engine gauges. Oh, wrong one. Annunciator test. And ITT test. I hit the wrong one. Not annunciator test. It's an ITT test that I wanted. Let's see here. And let's see here. Prop needs to go to full. Make sure the cutoff flaps are up. I do want to make sure that nothing's going to damage anything intentionally. I'm not looking to break my plane. All right. And, all right, make sure those are separated. Fuel tank select on the fullest tank. Shouldn't really matter right now. If you just... Oh, that was weird. Anyway. All right, clear master caution, master warnings all times. That way we always know if we get alerted something new. Let it rip. Starter, coming to life. Looking for 13 on the NG. Low cutoff or mixture or cutoff switch to low. Low idle. Making sure we don't come over 1,000 degrees for more than 5 seconds. Coming back down. No more than 800 for more than 20 seconds. Looking for 53%. Watching that master caution again. Temperature's looking good. Cutoff to high. Starter off. Ignition to auto. Now, we're at 100 degrees inside this cabin, so let's get the bleed system turned on, air conditioning on, ventilation or fan motor to auto. Inertial separator comes to on. Pitot 1, Pitot 2, make sure both the annunciators go out. Auxiliary boost pumps to auto. Make sure the flag goes off. You can see we are in beta. If you just simply bump the throttle forward a little bit, you should come out of beta, which is fine. We're going to leave it where it is. Anti-ice test. Test the airframe. There's a few of them that I do just because I've been burned before by them. Good. All right, got both sides working. All right, FS Master comes to life. Gyros and ADIs on. Taxi light on. Radio masters. Barometric pressure. Altimeter on. Autopilot master trim systems. All right. Let that Garmin come to life. We'll be good to go. Run the test on the autopilot. TBMs are my favorite aircraft, bar none. Such a fun plane. And we will be moving to virtual reality here in a minute. The Pimax Crystal does very well with the TBM-850. Want to make sure we got everything else up and running first. Which I think we're good to go, guys. This was actually pretty smooth. Groovy! And then let's take a look at our tablet again. So now as we come down, we can see everything's up and running. We can see what all the connection points are, where you would have a break if something were to break, where you would go to look. When you see bus 1, bus 2, bus 3, if you look over on your circuit breaker panel, we should see something that matches that. Let's see, it was bus 1, bus 2, advisory 1, advisory 2. Usually it is titled as buses, I thought. Oh, you know what? I think this would be bus 1, bus 2, and bus 3 down there at the bottom, as they're sectioned off in those larger areas, if I remember correctly. I could be talking completely out my ass, so don't 100% quote me, but if I remember correctly, that's how that worked. But anyway, what do I know? I'm not a very good technician. I'm just a Dr. Jim. It's sad that I guarantee there's a lot of you watching that who probably have no idea what that's from. It's getting that old, and I'm not even that old. Let's see here. Look at cabin. Got cabin pressurization. We'll adjust that here in a minute. Got our engine performance. Check that out. Cool. All right, and everything else is cleared, so I guess let's rock and roll, man. All right, let's do this. You know, I'm a genius, aren't I? It would probably help to put in where we're going. I always forget where we are. Let's see here. Let's go to MEDAR. Come on, man. TJIG. That's where we are. Okay, and we are just going to fly direct though, so that part's nice. We're going to TNCM, Princess Juliana. There we go. Alright, I figured that was probably important, you know? One of those few pieces of critical information that should probably be considered before flying. And we're also going to go to $15,000 feet. Climb at 1,500 feet per minute today. Oop, there we go. And let's set the pressurization now. set it to the aircraft altitude. It should be 15,000, right? Yep. All right. Let's roll. Go, heading locked. Oh. Heading mode. Anything else waits. Off we go. Airspeed alive. Knots. Gear coming up. Oops. Why'd you ruin my view, jerk? I'll fix that in a minute. .850 mode enabled. Pull that torque back before we over torque it. Sorry for the bad descent. I had to get my camera closer. Alright, now let's go nav, yaw damper autopilot. We're going to climb out to about 130 knots. So once we get that, we'll lock in indicated airspeed. We're clear and free. We can disengage inertial separator. Start climbing for about 120% torque is what I do. 119, somewhere around there. There's that 100, we're about 135 knots. We're now going to climb to indicated airspeed. It's going to be a while before we're going to see probably any climbing out of the pressurization. We're not going very high. If I remember correctly, 6,000 feet is where we switch to our standard altimeter out here. I don't think they follow the 29902 out here. Or 18,000, sorry. Misspoke. So we'll roll that down to 29902. outside of that, guys, everything's going good. Trying to find a good camera view. At this point, the pulse lights can come off. Don't really have much happening out here, so it's gonna be a minute, guys. So I'll catch you guys as we're up at cruise. We'll talk for a little bit, come out of VR for a little while, and just shoot the crap. You know what? The one thing I did forget to do today: switch to altitude. All right, folks. So I'll catch you guys in a few. Alright guys, so now let's start checking some of this out. So let's see here, sub check, 15,000 feet. I just sat back down the cockpit and I kicked the rudder pedal, so I'm making sure I didn't screw anything up here. Looks like everything's still going good. Alright, let's take a look at this guy. Anything change? It's pretty cool. So it's intake, exhaust. I'm guessing this is fuel flow, yes? No, because that's the initial separate. No, so this is top-down view. Or side view. I can't really tell. But there's the cabin pressurization system, so that comes out. So yeah, this has to be intake, because there's the initial separator. So you have your intake. You have your exhaust. The exhaust feeds into the pressurization system. And so if we go to cabin, there's the ram air from the pressurization system. Feeds into the AC system. There's the AC. If I'm reading this right, this is pretty cool. Tells us what our current cabin pressure is, 15,000 feet. They do such cool work. This is all the de-icing systems. The isolation valve. Failures, look at engine conditions, still 100%. We already looked at the electrical system earlier. This is pretty cool. I like this little tablet, dude. They did a good job with this. You know, my understanding is, I was actually blown away, is it sounds like the BlackSquare developer is a single person who makes the aircraft, all the systems, like, dude, could you imagine making a plane like this complex, or like the Duke, or even the analog systems for the G36 and the Baron G58 by yourself? Like, holy crap. It's pretty impressive. So we're 50 miles. Looks like we're about 90 miles away, 111 miles away, sorry. No, 90 miles, there it is. So 90 miles, so probably see here, 15,000 feet, we'll descend about 1,500 feet per minute. So what would that be? Roughly 30 miles-ish we would need to start descent, if that. That's probably still a little early. So we still got a ways to go, man. Let's see, how's our torque looking? We could actually go all the way up if we wanted to, but I'm pretty content with that. Got a nice cruise speed, 220 knots, 218, somewhere around there. I think we're looking good. I mean, we could, I guess, technically set. We got time. Oh, you know what? Let me do this real quick. I don't think I've saved any of my presets. Boop. Okay, so let's go to the VNav page. Target altitude is really sea level, so we'll set it to 100 feet. Okay, go enter. No, we're gonna leave that right about as. Well, here, let's do this. Actually, hold on. Let's do 1,000 feet. Nope. Move over one. Let's do 1,000 feet. And I'm going to set it for 2 miles before. I'm probably still going to descend whenever the hell I want, really. But we'll set it for 2 miles before. Enter. Ah, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. And we just want TNCM. And descent will be roughly 1,500 feet per minute-ish. And it wants us to begin descent in 8 minutes. Okay. Alright, we'll leave that up. Alright, I guess I'll catch you guys in about 8 minutes. Alright, so we are back. We are here. Destination is set. So, let's knock it down. And as promised, 1,500 feet per minute. Pulling the power off a little bit. Oops. Flight plan. 40 miles, I was close, so I was off what? About 10 miles, 15 miles-ish. Set our pressurization back down to sea level. There's the cabin pressure depressurizing. There we go. We'll go ahead and turn some lights back on as we start getting a little closer. I think everything else checks out. Let's take a look at our tablet. Engine still looks good. Fuel filter. I didn't even notice the filters. Clean filters. Check this out. So you got. Let's see here. There's the fuel filter, oil filter. Can't tell if that's a filter. It looks like it should be a filter. It should be an air filter for the cabin pressure. Looks like you probably have another one here. Yep, fuel heater filter. It's too cool, man. Let's come over here to cabin. Looks like that would be another one there. I can't tell if that's a filter or just a exchange. I still need that even thought of filters, man. Pretty damn neat. I love this plane. This is probably still by far my favorite aircraft in the sim. So we're 100 miles out, that's 50 miles out. Yeah, we're still a bit away. I think it said what? We're 30 miles away. Alright, so we've gone back into the Pimax Crystal Light. This thing is absolutely fantastically. The latest update is really cool. We're going to be doing another video on it with the upscaling. I'm very impressed by its performance. Let's turn some lights on. Go ahead and do the taxi light now just to save some time. We'll do the pulse lights as we're coming in. But getting pretty damn good frame rates with it. Anywhere from 45 to 65, all the way up to 70 frames per second at a time with the upscaling. You can see a little bit of artifacting, not gonna lie. Like for example here, or not artifacting, but aliasing. So there's probably ways to smooth that out. But for what the resolution is, like I can still very clearly, as long as I remember the Crystal Light doesn't have eye tracking. So the foveated rendering is fixed. If you're using it, I actually have all of mine disabled. I'm using native resolution. Let's turn the initial separator back on as we're coming in. Let's see here. But I can still, as long as I look directly at it, I can read anything. Like even all the way over there. I can read all of this. This gets a little hazy, but the altimeters, vertical speed indicators, what is that, the ADF signal, isn't it? ADF radio. All of my radio frequencies position. I can read very clearly. That says inert sep. So it's working really well. And remember guys, I do not have a 4080 or a 4090, excuse me. I have the 4080. At 6,000, we'll set our barometric pressure. Now that we've already reduced, I'm going to come out of 850 mode. For those of you who don't know, the TBM-750 had 750 horsepower, or TBM-700, 750, 700. TBM-700 had 700 horsepower. And the biggest difference between the 850 and the 700 is the 850 has 850 horsepower. But the TBM-850 is not rated for 850 horsepower at takeoff. So that's why you have an 850 mode that further increases the available horsepower after the flaps are retracted. And that's why the TBM-850 mode is above the flaps up switch, because the flaps must be retracted before you engage it. I can see runway, let's see, 10, I'm thinking St. Bart's. That's not 10. I can't remember what the runway is, but I see it. Descent is looking beautiful so far. I'm going to pull the power back a little bit more. You guys should be able to see it out there. Looking all purty. Now at 4,000 feet. Remember, we're looking for 1,000. we're locked in at 1,000 feet. So now let's autopilot off my aircraft. Too much, come up. Little wide. Level out, a little low too on the glide slope. Let's try to get back on speed. Watching my touchdown point. All visual now. You guys know me in the space shuttle landings. Oh, it is 1-0 here still. Get off the runway. That beta range sure kicked in as soon as we got the throttles down. I guess I wasn't expecting to. I thought I had instant beta disabled, but we'll check that here on the tablet. Or maybe I was just at idle long enough before touchdown. I didn't quite see when the caution light came on, when the annunciator came on. I know this is a cargo ramp, but we're going to park it over here. Alright, parking brake. Normally I would have done this when exiting the runway, but we didn't. Engine to cutoff. Let's go to our options, see what this looks like in the VR static mode. Still nice and clear. Yeah, I did. Instant beta on touchdown is disabled. Instant. But there is unrestricted beta range. Maybe it's because I turned that on. Alright, let's go to payload for a second. Let's put our external power on. Looks like that's a VR unhappy moment. Huh, won't let me. Whatever, it's because everything's still powered on. Anyway, we'll figure that out in a minute. Start getting everything else shut down. Whoa. Okay. I think we're good. All right. So now guess we didn't really need the external power. Engine still looks full. What happens when we hit clean filters? Anything? Probably not enough to even worry about it yet. Well, you guys, that is yet another flight in the BlackSquare TBM-850 with the Pimax crystal light, showcasing the new tablet and some of the new flight performance. This thing flies like a dream, you guys. It is my favorite aircraft by far inside the sim. If you haven't picked this one up, I highly, highly recommend it. It's that perfect blend between general aviation and commercial flight. The other thing I like about the 850 is it's still primarily rocking the steam gauges, or analog gauges as you'd like to call, whichever way you want to go. So it's, again, got that great blend, that great nostalgia. It still keeps you very busy in the cockpit while you're flying. Highly recommend you guys check this one out. Again, a link to the purchase and change log will be down in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one.